They said your business is going to slow down, say goodbye to freedom, and your priorities are about to change. You won't care about business anymore. And you know what? They were right. My priorities did change, but not in the way that they thought or projected onto me. Becoming pregnant didn't weaken me as a business owner. It sharpened me and it strengthened me. It didn't distract me. It made me more clear, more focused, and more on fire than I've ever been. This episode is for the woman who has been made to feel like she has to choose between a mother or a CEO. That's how I felt. Between strong or soft, or between nurturer or leader. And I'm here to tell you that you can be both. The moment that I stopped fighting the polarity and I started dancing with it, everything changed. I'm sharing this now as I am 40 weeks pregnant, actually 40 weeks in a couple of days. This one comes straight from the heart and from my lived experience. Let's do this, friends. What's up, Savages, and welcome back to the Business Savage Podcast. I am your host, Cassandra Britton, business and brand strategist, international keynote speaker, and the woman behind multiple seven-figure ventures. But here's the truth that I've learned building empires. It is not just about hustle, it is also about alignment. It's not just about scaling, it is also about soul. And it's not just about doing, it is about becoming more. Here we explore the dance between drive and surrender, structure and flow, achievement and embodiment. This is where strategy meets purpose, where success is redefined, and where we speak into the unseen, the unspoken, the soul of the entrepreneur. Because your business will never outgrow the version of you who is leading it. A savage may get knocked down, but when we're aligned, we will always get back up. So do me a favor. Leave us a review, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss the magic, and let's build something powerful together. Let's dive in. This episode is sponsored by Glossy, my favorite hack to add in my water. Let's be real, beauty and wellness can be overwhelming. We're all trying to do a million things, skincare routines, all of the supplements, hydration, but what if it could be simplified? This is where Glossy comes in. It's a drinkable beauty supplement packed with probiotics, hyaluronic acid, and magnesium to support your gut health, hydration, and skin glow in one effortless sip. I add it to my water every morning and sip it throughout the day. It tastes amazing. It's got like this lemony flavor to it, super refreshing, and it's not too sweet. I even replaced some of my old supplements with Glossy because it does so much in just one step. I started noticing results in month 2, and I love that my subscription keeps me consistent and stocked up. Go to getglossy.com and use my code SAVAGE for 15% off. Also, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any condition, but you need to try this game changer. I've now got many of my friends and clients hooked, so give it a try and thank me later. Okay, friends, let me start by saying this. Becoming pregnant has hands down been the coolest experience of my life. I have faced likely every emotion that you can imagine since the day that I saw those 2 lines on the test. Excitement, fear, little resentment, and of course, all of the physical symptoms as well. But what I really want to talk about today is the truth about my journey as a business owner, because it still shocks me being in this wonderful position creating life, how many people have limiting beliefs and fears that they think it's okay to impose onto you. When I first discovered I was pregnant, which truly feels like an eternity now. It was in November and we were in the Colorado mountains. I was in Hot Springs, saw the results of the test and realized I shouldn't be in Hot Springs. But I was flooded with excitement. Becoming a mother was always in the back of my mind, but we're never really ready, are we? I was in a massive explosion season of my business. I had new offers. I had massive new roles. I had some of the biggest speaking gigs to date. I had sold out VIP retreats. I had more travel than I'd ever experienced. And I was in the middle of closing my salon back in Toronto. The timing wasn't really ideal, but again, is it ever? So here's where I want to be so open, so raw, and so vulnerable with y'all. And the woman who needs to hear this, because I need her to know that she is not alone. After the excitement subsided, it was almost immediately replaced with fear. I was scared that I was going to resent my partner and my child if it slowed me down in my business. I was on a high, climbing steadily in all of the things that I had been working so hard for, they were here. Was it really time to take my foot off the gas? Would I even be feeling okay? Would I be able to do all of the things that I still had planned? I'd never been pregnant before. And we can hear all kinds of horror stories, especially about the first trimester and morning sickness. So I was worried. Would I be able to travel? Would I be puking on airplanes and stages and lacking the energy that I typically possess? And then there was this fear of weight gain. For many of you who have been listening here for a while, you know that quite a few years ago, I was in a relationship. I was incredibly unhappy. And throughout the last years of it, I gained a lot of weight. I was drinking far too much, eating a lot of junk food. I left that relationship finding myself nearly 60 pounds overweight and with a ton of body image issues. Growing up, I was borderline anorexic. I struggled to put on enough muscle just to play hockey, to not get pushed around in front of the net. My family was constantly shoving protein drinks down my throat just to help me put on weight. But 27, 28 years old, when your metabolism starts to slow down, you're extremely depressed, and drinking a bottle of wine a night, it's fairly easy to pack on the pounds. So I developed an eating disorder and a very unhealthy relationship with food. Food equaled fat in my mind, which of course is untrue and is an illness. But long story short, I overcame this disorder. I lost the weight. I got into the best physical, mental, and emotional state of my entire life. And I really stepped into my purpose. My business took off, my self-confidence took off, my life took off. So that brings me back to seeing these two little lines on the pregnancy test and realizing that along with this incredible creation of life will come weight. And I wasn't sure how much or where I would put it on, but I knew that it was coming. And the old fears and the old emotions from that eating disorder were all of a sudden smacking me in the face again. I have battled this entire pregnancy with the weight gain, with old clothes no longer fitting, with having moments where there is nothing to wear, spending thousands of dollars on new clothes just to feel comfortable. And while this podcast is not about that, I do want to share it because I know that it is a massive concern that many women have heading into pregnancy. And I want whoever needs to hear this to know that you are not alone. I have much to share on that, how I have navigated it, what to wear to feel good and confident, and how to stay as healthy as possible. For the woman who wants to hear that, please just send me a message through social. It's at the.business.savage so that we can talk through that deeply offline. And if we get enough requests, I will do an entire episode on it. But the big question that still remained was, would this slow me down as a business owner? I had men telling me that it slowed down their wives or their partners, people that were messaging me unsolicited on social media about their bad experiences, to do this, to not do this, to make sure that I'm resting, to stop booking and planning things, and the list goes on. Friends, I cannot tell you how many messages and comments I have received from people basically imposing all of their fears onto me, saying that they want children, but that they believe that you can't do both. Saying they know my career is blooming and they're shocked that I've decided to just become a mom now. The list would shock you. To be honest, for a moment, it started to get into my head when there was enough of it, and something that I had never experienced before. I was starting to get concerned. Could they be right? And so I started to resent my husband and my baby, thinking that they were going to take away my power and I would end up baking muffins and staying at home with the kids for the rest of my life, which, by the way, sounds pretty freaking awesome too. So here's where everything changed. I went back to all of the skills and the mindset tools that I have learned and I teach and I preach over the years. And I realized that this was their truth, but it did not have to be mine. Just as in everything, and there's a reason why we call it the 1%. There is a reason why 99% of people never step into their purpose and power and live their very average capacity. And in this moment, whether that was their truth and their lived experience or not, it did not have to be mine. I am the creator of my own reality. And so even if this was true for many, it does not have to be true for me if I don't want it to be. And this is where my journey and my life and everything changed. This is my life. I get to live it and create it how I want. And from that moment, everything changed. I realized that all of these comments were other people's fears, their insecurities, their crushed dreams, and their projections. They have a different mindset than I do. They are not me, and I will not take that on as my truth. It's a little something that I like to call discernment. Filtering out external noise to tune into your own inner knowing. Discernment is the ability to perceive, understand, and choose wisely between what is true versus false, aligned versus misaligned, right versus wrong. It's not just logical, but it is intuitively and spiritually tuning in. And so in this process, I realized that this was not my truth. I don't believe in my cells that this was true. And so I went about finding all of the reasons and evidence to support the exact opposite. So I started collecting evidence. Evidence that becoming a mother would make me sharper, not slower. More precise with my time, more anchored in my boundaries, more magnetic in my leadership, more clear on what actually matters. I started embodying the version of me who could hold both an empire and the womb, both the softness and the fire, both being and building. Because I no longer wanted to split myself into two, to toggle between a masculine and a feminine energy like I was picking a costume for the day. I wanted to lead as a whole woman. And this was the initiation. You don't lose your ambition when you become a mother. You just stop wasting it on things that don't matter. Motherhood cracked me open, not just physically, but spiritually. It brought me into a deeper relationship with my intuition, my emotions, my divine timing, my feminine wisdom. You stop leaking energy to people pleasing, to overbooking, to trying to prove yourself. You stop overcomplicating your business with 12-point funnels and chasing the algorithm and trying to make everybody like you. Motherhood is the greatest energetic audit you will ever go through. You'll suddenly see what's working, what's not, and what needs to go and what needs to grow. You finally understand that your presence is the real strategy. Your alignment is the most potent marketing plan that you could ever write. And that where this next level of my business was being born from, less forcing, more feeling, less hustling, and more honoring. Honoring my body, honoring my time, honoring my capacity, honoring my vision. I'm still the same woman who built multiple 7-figure brands with fire in her eyes. But I'm also the woman who knows how to receive now. To rest, to soften without falling apart, and to lead without my armor. I share this today not because I have figured everything out, but because I'm walking through it in real time. 40 weeks pregnant in a couple of days. This baby could come right now. I'm still building. I'm here in a podcast studio. I'm still birthing. I'm still creating. I'm still holding this massive duality. So for the woman who has been made to feel like she can't do both, like she has to choose between her ambition and her baby, her freedom and her family, her leadership and her love, let this episode be the permission slip that you have been waiting for. You are not broken for wanting both. You are not selfish for wanting both. And you are absolutely capable of holding both. Not because you're a superhuman, but because you're finally letting yourself be fully human. This is the dance of duality, not balance, but integration. I've had moments of clarity when suddenly I realized things were not serving me, friendships were not serving me. But this isn't about me anymore. This is about him, this tiny little human that is growing inside of me. And I realize that he deserves to grow up watching a mother who still chases her dreams. So for every single person who has told me to slow down and to rest, thank you. Thank you for sharing your opinion, but also I will listen to my intuition and slow down if and when I need to. I was traveling until 33 weeks pregnant. I had 5 events I traveled to speak at in Orlando during 33 weeks of pregnancy. Was it challenging? Sure, in some ways, but also rewarding and empowering in others. And I tell you this because I did it in heels. I did it out of breath on stage. I did it resting in between and still feeling so full and so nourished at the end of it. Your pregnancy is a beautiful, sacred time. That does not mean that you need to be at home sitting on the couch in order to be resting or enjoying it. There's so many different versions of that. Some women are lifting heavy weights right up until the day that they pop, while other women are just doing their best to get a small walk in. You do what is best for you. And I've learned to not compare myself to others and their journey and their body. My pregnancy was a dream. Now at 40 weeks, I am very swollen. My feet, my ankles, my calves, my knees are very swollen. I have extreme carpal tunnel in my hands, making them basically numb and impossible to try to use, very painful to try to use, especially in the morning and at night. But up until this point, it has been a dream. So now I am deeply listening to my body that is asking me to rest. I am resting, I am writing, I am creating when I feel the energy, I am nourishing, and I am nesting. Y'all should see this baby room. But until this point, it felt really great for me to be active and to continue to grow and blossom my business and expand it in ways that I couldn't see before. So here's what I have learned. You are not one or the other. You do not have to decide between motherhood and entrepreneurship. You do not need to listen to anyone who tells you that it is either or, because that belief, that is their limitation, not your truth. You are allowed to be a nurturing, present, soft, deeply connected mother, and a bold, brilliant, high-performing CEO who changes lives. You're allowed to have stretch marks and strong strategy, milk-stained shirts and million-dollar ideas, tired eyes and unstoppable vision. The truth is, motherhood doesn't take away your ambition. It just gives it deeper roots. It forces clarity, it sharpens your priorities, and it makes you show up for what matters and let go of everything that doesn't. And maybe the world wasn't built for women who lead with both their heart and hustle, but that doesn't mean we shrink ourselves to fit in. It means that we will redefine what leadership looks like. We don't need to choose. You were never meant to. Because your power lives in your wholeness, in your duality, in your willingness to hold it all and lead from all of it. To the woman listening to this who is scared to get pregnant and start a family because of what other people have said or other stories that you have seen, I promise you, if you don't desire that to be your reality, it does not have to be. This baby will arrive literally any day now. Maybe even by the time that we've released this episode, very likely. And already this has been the most expansive and on purpose I have ever felt in my entire life. My business hasn't stopped. It's actually multiplied. And it can for you too. I am always here, just a DM away. Well, Savages, that is all that we have for you for today's episode. I hope that this gave you permission to honor your truth, to trust your timing, your voice, your duality, and your power to hold both. If this resonated with you, share with another woman who needs to hear that she does not have to choose. She can be both, fully, unapologetically, and fiercely. And if you're walking the same path of building while becoming, come find me on Instagram. It's at the.business.savage. Don't forget to leave us a review here, which greatly helps us grow, and hit the subscribe bell so that you never miss a future episode. And a reminder, the full video is available on YouTube. Reminder, a savage will get knocked down, but friends, they will always get back up. Until next time, keep rising, keep soaring, and never forget that you were built for both. Keep on fighting. Peace, guys.